Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes. Israelite Widows, a scriptural narrative of divine concern and national duty. The scriptures proclaim from the beginning to the end that a father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation. Psalm 68, verse 5. The plight of the widow, especially among the children of Israel, is a matter of deep concern in the eyes of Yahweh, and this concern is reflected in his laws, his prophets, and in the example of his Son, Yahawashi. God, the protector of widows. The Most High defends the cause of the widow. He doth execute the judgment of the fatherless and widow. Deuteronomy 10:18. And, the Lord preserveth the strangers. He relieveth the fatherless and widow. Psalm 146:9. This protection is not symbolic but literal, grounded in justice and judgment. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. Proverbs 15:25. Yahawashi's eye on the widows. In the days of his flesh, Yahawashi demonstrated the same divine concern. At the gate of Nain, he raised a widow's only son, saying, "Weep not." Luke 7:11-15. At the temple treasury, he commended the widow who cast in her 2 mites. Of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast in more than they all. Luke 21:3. He saw the heart, not the hand, the sacrifice, not the size of the gift. Widows must be treated justly. The Torah warns Israel, "Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child." Exodus 22:22. This justice is not optional. Cursed be he that perverteth the judgment of the stranger, fatherless, and widow. Deuteronomy 27:19. The prophets echoed this call. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey. Isaiah 10:1-2. Widows are not to be exploited. Ezekiel records the sins of the leaders. In thee have they set light by father and mother. In the midst of thee have they dealt by oppression with the stranger. In thee have they vexed the fatherless and the widow. Ezekiel 22:7. Malachi warns, I will be a swift witness against those that oppress the widow. Malachi 3:5. Even the scribes were condemned by Yahawashi, which devour widows' houses, and for a shew make long prayers. The same shall receive greater damnation. Mark 12:40. The law requires provision for widows. The laws of Israel ensured that widows were cared for. When thou cuttest down thine harvest, thou shalt not go again to fetch it. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. Deuteronomy 24:19. This law was repeated for the tithes and offerings, that the Levite, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come, and shall eat, and be satisfied. Deuteronomy 14:29. The scattered lost tribes are to care for widows. The Apostle Paul exhorts the scattered believers, honor widows that are widows indeed. 1 Timothy 5:3. And further, if any provide not for his own, he hath denied the faith. 1 Timothy 5:8. James affirms, pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction. James 1:27. Even among the Hellenized Israelites, care for widows was a priority. Acts 6:1. Examples from the Scripture. From the days of Moses to the days of the apostles, we see the presence of widows among our people. The widow of Zarephath sustained Elijah and saw the power of Yahweh in her home. 1 Kings 17:13-14. In the temple, the aged widow Anna gave thanks likewise unto the Lord, and spake of him to all them that looked for redemption in Jerusalem. Luke 2:36-38. Conclusion. Widows are not forsaken in the eyes of the Most High. Among the lost sheep of the house of Israel, scattered and broken, the care for widows stands as a command, a test of justice, and a mark of true obedience. Yahawashi came not only preaching the kingdom, but demonstrating its values, lifting up the humble, defending the helpless, and restoring the brokenhearted. Let the remnant of Israel remember and obey the duty to care for one another, Israelite responsibility toward widows and their children. From the beginning, the Most High has made it abundantly clear that the children of Israel are to walk in covenant love and responsibility toward one another. This divine mandate is especially serious when it comes to the widows among us, the daughters of Zion whose husbands have departed in death. The Most High does not overlook their sorrow. He commands the nation to step in with compassion, provision, and honor. Widows and their seed, the heritage of Jacob. The children of widows are not just orphans or forgotten souls. They are the seed of Jacob, destined to carry forward the legacy and promises made to our forefathers. These young ones are heirs of the covenant, and their care is a national obligation. Scripture tells us clearly that he doth execute the judgment of the fatherless and widow, Deuteronomy 10:18, meaning he defends them when others ignore or oppress. The widow's womb is not barren. It carries forward the very line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the daughter of Zion, the womb that births a nation. The Israelite woman, often referred to as the daughter of Zion, is not only a mother, but a vessel chosen to bring forth a holy generation. Her womb is sacred, for it brings forth the next sons and daughters of the covenant. When she is left without a husband, the protection once given by her man must now come from her people. In ancient times, Israelite women were delicate and cherished, not left to toil or suffer alone. Their value was never measured by labor, but by lineage, legacy, and life. The role of the community, a covenantal responsibility. In the absence of a husband, the Israelite community was charged with stepping in. The elders, the brethren, and even the strangers within the gates were to be watchful and generous. When thou cuttest down thine harvest, it shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. Deuteronomy 24:19. The Most High gave no room for excuses. The responsibility was collective, and the judgment for failure was severe. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, I will surely hear their cry. Exodus 22:22-23. This wasn't just kindness. It was law. It was national holiness. A nation who forgets its widows forgets its covenant. The Most High takes this serious. The Most High does not take lightly the mistreatment or neglect of widows. He declares in Malachi 3:5 that he will be a swift witness against those who oppress the widow. The one who turns his face from the suffering of the mother and child does not just offend the community, he offends the God of Israel himself. The laws and examples given in Torah, the prophets, and the New Covenant writings are not optional. They are divine expectations. Conclusion: to guard the womb, to guard the nation. To care for the widow is to guard the womb of the nation. The daughter of Zion must not be forsaken, for through her comes the seed of promise. The Most High, who calls himself the judge of the widow and father to the fatherless, expects the nation of Israel, especially those among the scattered, broken, and awakening tribes, to remember this holy duty. Let us then return to our ancient paths. Let us protect our widows, cherish their children, and uphold the wombs of our mothers and daughters. For in doing so, we do the will of our Father and secure the future of our people.